Hello and a warm welcome to the Asian Festival of Speed and the TCR Asia Series for 2016 live from the Korea International Circuit, about 400 kilometers south of Seoul, Korea. This is the former Formula One circuit. Jonathan Green and Steve Martin bringing you the action of race 2 of the series. And if race 1 is anything to go by, we're in for another cracking race. Of course, a reverse grid for race 2. And that means we've got Terence Say in the number 17 car on the pole position for the Seat Leon TCR V2 DSG, to be precise. And Steve, the reverse grid always throws up a few surprises because obviously the guy in 8th position has qualified so well, and we're going to see the Thai Shitrai coming through, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. It's definitely going to be a very, very exciting race. The pole man starting from 8th position, as you say, on the grid. He's got a lot of traffic to get through, but so have the guys that have qualified with him. But it also gives guys like Philip de Sousa from the Liqui Engsler team a chance to get up near the front and dice with those guys. And those guys will learn. And it's easier for them to learn when the other faster guys are qualified on pole that are in 8th at the moment to go past.
Great opportunity for any of the guys who didn't have the best of races, Michael Ho being one of them, and of course the Macau driver, bags of experience for Champ Motorsport, and Michael really enjoying this. I've seen Michael race so many different cars, from Honda Civics to any one of the touring cars from Macau, and of course in single-seaters before that. So he's done plenty of racing over his years, and always a great character. But the man of the day, certainly creating the story of the day, has been this man, Roloff Albert Bruins, and got a great race in the first race, and a bit controversial. He overtook the man fighting for second, and the man who was in pole position, the Thai driver Shitrai, and was under investigation for a while, but it was deemed to be okay. Another man looking for a good result out of this one, Henry Ho Wai Kun, the Champ Motorsport man, and Henry, of course, a multiple champion from Hong Kong and Macau. He's been racing for a long, long time too, even though he's still pretty much a youngster. And there's the number 3 car of Andy Yan, 4-time Chinese touring car champion.
Of course, Andy was on the podium in race 1, had a good run, tried to hold off Bruins, but couldn't do it. Jonathan, in the end, Bruins got through on him, and I'm sure that there's been some modifications made between race 1 and race 2 to hopefully help Andy.
You did an interview with Andy. Did he have anything
he just
to
said
say about what happened?
He did. He said that basically he was very happy with the result, but he was going to make some changes to the car. He said he had a bit of front end push. So obviously the team have worked hard on that and put the car in a better position for him. So hopefully he can use those tyres well. We did see in race 1 how slippery it was on the opening laps with these TCR machines as well. So that's going to be playing on the mind of these guys. We saw lots of spins due to people getting over aggressive in the first part of the race and also not getting their tyres up to the right temperature.
You know what, you make a very good point, because it's now later in the day. Locally it's 5:24 here. You can see the wind picking up because we are expecting rain this evening. Luckily it stayed off for the rest of the day, but yeah, there are big rainstorms expected. We're on the coast here. We're right by the biggest shipyard in Korea, the Hyundai shipyard, just across the way in the distance. You'll see it as they go over the rise and crest at the back of the circuit. But this circuit originally built right by those famous shipyards, and perfect place in some ways because, of course, Hyundai, a massive company, don't just make the cars, they make the ships and all sorts of other things. And talking of them, there were rumours that they could be taking part in this championship down the road. Kia have already announced, so Korea very much going to be a part of this series in the future. Here's the grid then. Terence Say of Roadstar Racing Team, Philip de Sousa, who you mentioned, the Liqui Team Engsler, Michael Ho, Champ Motorsport, and Roloff Bruins in the Viper Nisa Racing, the Malaysian entry after that first win, delighted. Henry Ho for Champ Motorsport, Andy Yan, who you mentioned, in the Liqui Team Engsler, Kevin Say of Team Work Motorsport, Tin Shri Trai of Thailand, and he is the man to watch from 8th place for sure. Bill O'Brien from Hong Kong, the American for Team Work Motorsport in his first weekend out. Yam Kam Cheong in 10th position. And at the back, Douglas Cohn. He too racing for the Viper team. And we went down to the pits and we saw both of the drivers talking to each other. And Douglas sort of leapt back and said, "You don't want to talk to me?" And I said, "Yes, I do. Why not?" And I said, "How was your race?" And he was really enjoying being part of.
Absolutely. You know the backstory of that as well. And the only reason that the winner of the race, Roloff Bruins, was actually driving here is because that #1 car was free this weekend. There was no one driving it. And Roloff Bruins was actually here as a driver coach for Douglas Coup. So after...
That's a bit of a coup then, for both Douglas and Bruins.
The big coup is this. I mean, Douglas said, well, why don't you just show me what you can do? Jump in that #1 car that hasn't got a driver this weekend. I know you've missed half the practice. Go around and, you know, maybe you might be in front of me on the grid. It turns out he can drive a car because he went from only doing 16 laps to winning the race.
Yeah, so I think if you're being taught how to be fast, that's actually the best example you can have. Let me show you in a race what I can do.
Absolutely, and his TCR car, by the way, is not the absolute latest spec. It doesn't have the sequential gearbox in it. He's losing about 4 to 5 tenths of a second a lap, just in sector 1, where the major straights are on the circuit as well. So that sequential gearbox, which is allowed in this class, which most of the cars have out there at the moment, is definitely a big asset to have.
You mentioned the weather. You can see the wind picking up yourself as the trees sort of blow about a bit, and it is much cooler. I think that's the point. It doesn't matter what the wind does, and if it rains, it doesn't matter either, because obviously they'll deal with that as it goes on. But we did see, as you say, several spins on the first lap. Henry Ho was one of them last time out, and certainly got to be careful. But
well, everything happens so much slower on the first couple of laps. As you have to let your car warm up. Your brain says that you should be going faster, and that's why the mistakes happen, because like mentally you should be braking easily a bit later. But look at those clouds in the background there, Jonathan.
They're rolling in, aren't they? Yeah, the weather is definitely coming in. I don't think, though, 14-lap race, that we're going to have too much of a change. That said, I'll put the commentator's blight on it, and it'll pour down with rain. There's the Viper team.
And there's the wet weather tyres.
Yes, exactly, ready to go, just in case. Yes, I spoke to the team manager of the Viper Nisa Racing team, and, you know, delighted, obviously, with the result. And Nico Prayitno, to get his pronunciation hopefully close, but nice guy, and really nicely turned out team too. They deserve that first win, and let's see if they can do it again. Certainly, talking to Bruins, he was very optimistic that starting from 4th on the grid, that he got a good start. It's not going to be easy though, because I think Sousa is due a decent result, and we know what Michael Ho can do, and I expect both Henry Ho and Andy Yan to come through quickly.
And don't forget Tin Shitrai as well, because he actually looked like the man on form all weekend until he got turned around in turn 3 and lost a lot of time. He lost 11 seconds to the leading pack in race 1, so he'll be looking for a clean start this time.
How disappointed was he about the incident?
He was okay. He was okay. He said that he got a lot of wheel spin off the start. He gave it too many revs, and that didn't help his cause. He was caught up in the pack, and that can happen at this circuit. Big overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 3 here.
Here we go then. TCR Asia Race 2 from Korea to start off the 2016 season. It's been a great start. Michael Choi won the first year for the Honda Civic team. Who will it be this year? We're about to find out, as one of the races will show us what the form guide is for the rest of the year. Out go the lights, away we go. And a little bit of wheel spin from the second row from the Honda. He's recovered well, and in fact it was wheel spin in an advantageous way, because he got right through to second place.
Look at Roloff though. Roloff has gone straight into the lead.
Brilliant.
#1 car. He certainly owned.
Michael Ho got the wheel spin in that Honda and then put it right behind Bruins, who now leads this pack down the back straight for the first time. The first of 14 laps.
He's got a Honda sandwich behind him. There's the 3 Hondas. Look at that.
And Henry Ho started well on the outside, on the right-hand side of your picture, the number 88 Honda. But it is the #1 car of the winner from the first race, Bruins, who leads this race, having started 4th, and everybody going wide. Now we got a spinner.
Oh, and we got some super wide guys. It's one of the Revo cars. One of the Volkswagen Revo cars is spun in the background there. Manages to get going again, Jonathan.
Here comes the number 3, Andy Yan, up the inside. Nicely done on the 38 of Michael Ho to go up a place. jostling for position.
Oh,
likewise.
we've got another spinner.
Oh, and it's Michael Ho, Macau driver.
Yeah, these guys don't learn, do they? How slippery it is on the first lap.
But the thing is, you can win or lose the race on the first lap, because if you don't make up the places, if you don't get into the top four, if you don't get into a leading group, well, if you know where it's been, you know where it is.
We've got 2 losers so far.
Fair enough.
But yeah, you've got to get through but you can just see how skatey it is out there. You really do need to let the heat get into these tyres. Of course, this track, although it has got a lot of rubber on it, if you get offline here, it can, still be dirty in some places.
Seconds out, round 2, so to speak, because Tin Shitrai is in second place, and the man who took him out of the first race is in front of him. So no more a target needed for the Thai driver. They are pulling away from the second group of 2 cars. And that's Souza. When this car slowing, is that Sri?
That's definitely an issue there, isn't it? Definitely an issue there.
Come out towards the last corner again. Onto the main straight. The field spreading out now. As they cross the line again, Bruins with a 321.2. Should we try the number 9? Dives into turn 1. And then Andy Yan in third place. 13 laps to go. Losing out Philip Souza, who started the second row, but now drops down to 5th place. And likewise, Terence Say, who of course started on the front row, he's now down to 6th. Here's a look at the start again. Like I said, that wheel spin caught me out a little bit because I wasn't keeping an eye on, and you were, number 1 coming through.
Absolutely.
From the inside.
And of course, 38, Michael Ho, he got wheel spin, which was the same problem that Shitrai had in the first race. And there it is, the Revo car turned around as well. So a lot of action, as always, in the first part of this this race.
So, the battle ensues between these two, and how quickly can Tin Shitrai get on level terms. His last lap was a 2:11.2.
Yeah, interestingly though, the tables are turned this time round with Shitrai behind. If you remember, it was in race 1 into that turn 3 that bumped from the number 1 car. He bumped into the side and turned Shitrai around. So it's going to be interesting to see how he overtakes us and how aggressive he is when it does come to the time to try and make a move on the Nitsa Viper car.
We had a quick chat with Roloff after the first race, and he was, as you say, pleasantly surprised, because he wasn't even expecting to race. He's had very little time in this Seat, and as you mentioned, it's not even the full spec, so to speak, in terms of the gearbox, or at least the gear change, and therefore having to work pretty hard inside that car to actually get it around the circuit as quick as everybody else.
Well, he's not doing his driver coach ability much harm here, is he? Just showing the field how fast he can be. So he's out in front, and to me, a little bit of a slide there from the rear. Gets on the power just that bit early, Jonathan. But Shitrai at the moment, there's a gap of about 1.5 seconds. So similar, these cars.
Yeah, we've got lots of different manufacturers, but the balance of performance is excellent. And of course, they're all 2-litre turbo charged cars, and producing somewhat like 330 brake horsepower.
It's 330 horsepower, and the way that they get that power is not by putting lots of expensive parts inside the engine like pistons and conrods. What they do is they make a very good production car with good standard parts in it, and then they obviously turbocharge it, which is a standard turbocharger, and then they chip it. They do it with electronics, and the standard engines are so good now that they can get up to 330 horsepower out of these machines, and it really makes a very reliable racing car.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of it is there's so many national championships around the world. I mean, Honda, just for example, we were talking to Mats Fischer, as we see Tin trying already. He was 1.3 seconds behind. He's now looking for an overtake, but 32 Hondas, similar to the one you're looking at right now in second place, racing in TCR around the world.
Absolutely, and that's why this is such a popular category. Look at the rear wheel lock up on that. He's trying hard, his roll off in the front of this race. He knows he's got a race in his hands now, Jonathan. But all of the manufacturers have similar numbers, and it's just growing because this TCR class is growing worldwide now, and Asia's a great place to look at.
Yeah, it's growing here. Still early days. Only the second year, of course, of the overall championship. Certainly here in Asia, still waiting to get up to full capacity. Plenty of room, and I think we'll have more cars on the grid in Thailand and more expected as the year goes on. Kia just announced, as I mentioned, Ford came in last year, and there's also Subaru. There's so many different manufacturers capable of producing a car for this series, and of course it really is the battle of the production cars that everybody knows and loves. These are the cars you see on the street every day, so I think the relatability of this kind of racing is fantastic.
Of course, the Honda have a new engine this year. It's an all-alloy block that makes that 330 horsepower, which means it's a lighter car than pretty much what the regulations allow. So that car is actually carrying to an extra 40 kilograms on board, and that's how we do keep up the BOP, which is the balance of performance. To keep the cars even, you're not allowed to make a car that's way lighter than everything else. We like to keep it even here, and we keep a very close eye on it.
So the time's coming down, 2:23.9, 2:23.1 from Street Try, and that's why Street Try is looking for the inside move. And here he goes on Bruins. He's making a similar move that Bruins made on him. Bruins goes wide, trying to get the drive as he goes wide and almost going into the pit lane exit as he tries to stay with Street Try, who takes the lead here for the first time with 11 laps to go. And if these two battle it out as they are, Andy Yan, as you can see in the Liqui Moly, Edsler VW just behind in third place will catch them.
Yeah.
But Street Try leads in the Honda now.
Yeah, Andy Yan is actually doing a good pace. He's also in the 23s as well. He's actually quicker than your leader. He did a 23.6 last time down round, did Andy Yan. Just took a little bit longer to get up to pace, but once again, if these two guys out front start playing with each other, Andy Yan could find himself in a very handy position.
Well, the question is, now that the number 9 Tin has taken the lead, how quickly can he pull away? And at the moment, he's not being able to do so. It's only half a lap since he took the lead, but we'll judge it, I suppose, by the end of this lap. He did the fastest lap at 2:23.102.
There's no doubt, Jonathan, that the strongest sector for the Honda over the number 1 car is obviously in the first sector where the straights are. We talked about that gearbox and how he's losing 0.4 in that particular seat. Not all of them, because his teammate does have the sequential gearbox, and it is about 5 to 6 kilometres an hour. The speed down that big long straight here in Korea, of course, these cars get up to about 225 to 235 k's an hour.
Which
and
is
that
impressive, really.
Very impressive from a 2-litre turbocharged car.
Well, if you watch the international series, you'll see the likes of Gianni Morbidelli thrashing the Honda around, and Tin following in the footsteps here in Asia. And great to have a Thai driver with such ability and youth on his side, still in his 20s, and big future ahead for him. And of course, we're heading to Thailand, to Buriram, in a few weeks' time, and he'll race in front of those beloved home fans and the Thai fans that are so into their racing and into their heroes. And I think Tin is soon going to become one if he's not already. He actually already is. He's well known in Thai circles for his achievements in touring cars in Thailand. And of course, if you know anything about Thai touring cars, it's been one of the oldest and longest established touring car series over the years. And Thai drivers have been prolific at the likes of the Macau Grand Prix and Sepang and so on over the years. So Tin is just following in a long line of great Thai drivers.
Quickest man on track last time round, Andy Yan. He did a 2:22, and that gap has come down to 2.7 seconds now.
Here's another look at the overtake, and it was perfectly done.
Yeah, he could have been a little bit more forceful in that, considering that...
well, he set him wide enough.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, Roloff gave him a little bit of a bump in race 1, didn't he? Could have given him a bit of a bump, but he didn't. He was quite good. Wide on turn 3.
And Bruins makes a mistake, and Andy Yan surely will pounce. Andy Yan with the fastest lap so far, that 2:22.853, and now an opportunity for Yan and the Liqui Moly team to get on level terms.
Yeah, Andy Yan's joined the party. He's there.
Confirmation then of that fastest lap, just what he needs at the perfect time for Bruins to make that mistake. And having had the almost perfect race last time out, Bruins under pressure now, trying to hold on to that second place, as now Street Try is pulling away at the front.
A lot of car attitude there. You can see, if you watch these cars carefully, you see the inside wheel lift off the ground. It means that they're really on the limit of traction. That, of course, it does weight the wheel that is on the ground and gives them a little bit more grip. So it's you know, just because you see that wheel in the ground, it's not the end of the world.
I'm looking at the sector times, and Andy Yan was brilliant in that last sector. He was up on that last sector ahead of the man in front of him, Bruins, and has done the same again. He was almost half a second quicker in the second sector, so he's coming and coming fast, Andy Yan. And the Viper team watch on because they are nervous right now, as will Bruins be.
Well, Bruins is falling backwards now.
Yeah, even though he's setting some of his fastest splits.
Yeah, he is, but once again, through this back section of the circuit, he's quite quick, but he's just losing out on the longer straight sections, and perhaps in braking as well. He runs wide a lot. I think he tries to make up too much ground, but you know, he's certainly having a fantastic drive.
They come out of the right-left and onto the main straight again with 9 laps to go now. This second race of TCR Asia. Jonathan Green and Steve Martin bringing you the action of TCR Asia from Korea. And Tin Shritrai, his whole family here in the pit lane watching on. It's a real family affair. Meanwhile, Roelof Bruins still in second base, but for how long? Andy Yan, there you see it, has a chance now down this long 1 kilometer back straight, where they reach top speeds of over 230
kilometres an hour, and there goes the Volkswagen
He made
Golf.
it look easy, didn't he?
He did, the GTI, but once again, that's pretty much just because that TCR car, the #1 car, is not the absolute latest spec. His teammate has got the latest spec. Maybe they should have swapped cars.
I'm going to say, yeah, hang on. That's master of pupil. Pupil gets the best gut stuff. I don't get it.
That's always the way, Frank. But nevertheless, this is a great show from the young driver. You know, he's doing a great job in that Nitsa Motorsport car.
And the VW engineers, most of them Italian, very excited, clearly.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they've been working hard all weekend. I mean, those cars are brilliantly prepared. All of the cars in pit lane actually brilliantly prepared. Everybody down there, there's a lot to play for. A lot of effort goes into travel around these Asian countries and to come here to Korea. I mean, it means a lot to walk away tonight with a win.
Yeah, and I also think as the season goes on, we're going to look back to Korea and see how significant points were made and how significant this 2 rounds will be. We are expecting the grids to grow, therefore points will be taken off some of these drivers that are scoring big points now. So that means it's going to get interesting. So we've got to keep an eye on what happens here in Korea, because as this championship unfolds in 2016, we'll be bringing you all across the world, live streaming and, of course, on our television distribution, but we'll be keeping up with it because it traverses right across Asia, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see how these guys think. It's some very interesting circuits around the Asian region.
Roelof is certainly making up a lot of time on the brakes. You can see him there, especially from this high shot, how he can just break in deeper than the Volkswagen in front. But once again, he gets to that straight section and he just doesn't have that top end punch.
Across the line again then. Let's look at the difference. Well, Shri tries up the pace again at 222.9. And they can't hold with him. Yan at 223.3. So we got 2.9 seconds now between first and second place. The battle's still raging, second and third, between Yan and Bruins. Kevin Say is fourth at the moment, ahead of Felipe Sousa of Macau. In 5th place, and then Terence Say, who had a spin, or at least went wide early on, the man who started from pole, is still in 6th place, and Michael Ho, of course, who also spun around, and still circulating, but in 7th place now.
I spoke with Tin at the start of the weekend, Shitrai, and he'd never driven that car. I said to him, you know, what do you think of this car? Oh, I'm not used to the front-wheel drive. You know, I don't know how I'm going to go. I just can't see it working out. It's difficult for me to get used to.
Yeah, he didn't seem that confident. He was very modest, wasn't he?
He was very modest, but...
and then went straight into free practice and was 2 seconds quicker than anyone.
Yeah, and he was 2 seconds quicker than anyone all weekend, up until race 1 when it didn't work out for him. But he's certainly making up for it here this time round. He's starting to just ease away from these 2 cars behind. Andy Yan.
Look at the way this battle kind of ebbs and flows. 0.2, 2.1, 1.2. It's varying, but it's still very much on between these two.
Bruins is a real fighter, isn't he? He just won't let go, even though it'd be easy. You get to the straight, you see the car pull away in front of you. It'd be easy to go, well, that's it, I can have an easy third, I'm not going to spin. But he's not worried about the podium. He's got that fighting spirit. He really wants to give it his best and have a go. Henry Ho's just put in a good lap time too, 23.7. He's down in ninth, Jonathan, but he's just done a lap equal to the leaders.
Yeah, and I think the setup for this track, I mean, it's nothing like Macau, but that's one of the tracks that they go to. And of course, Macau is distinctive by the fact that it's got two very different parts to it. One long, massively long straight, and then the hill section, which is all twisty-turny. And in terms of your setup, it's a real compromise. But Korea is very similar because we've got these two mammoth straights at the start and this long straight here. So you can almost count 3 long straights at the start of a lap. Where you want to be as fast as you can, but then you need that grip and you need that downforce, throughout the rest of the track, because it's a very technical part of the second half.
Yeah, it's absolutely one of the hardest tracks to set up for, due to the fact that exactly what you said, but also the length of the circuit. It exemplifies all of the things, like it's not like you've got these straights 2 seconds long. I mean, you count how long that straight is. It's a very, very long straight, and you're at that high speed for a long, long time. So if you're over 200 for a long period of time, you can make up a lot of ground. So you really do need to be very careful when you set up the car, not put too much rear wing on to take away that top speed. But also, we've seen how important that grip is. It's perhaps, at least in this class, not the grippiest track that we go to throughout the year.
Here we go. 17 and 88. Henry Ho going through on Terence Say. Say, of course, going wide earlier, and Henry Ho makes it look simple.
Yeah, I don't know what Henry's done. I mean, he's found something. He's really on a move.
Yeah, and I just think he made a mistake because we know he's fast. He's been fast all weekend, and he's one of the most accomplished drivers out there. And as you say, 223.9 compared to 229.7 from the man in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, what he actually did then, that was pretty much the fastest lap of the race, that lap round, apart from She-Try. So, very good move for him there.
Michael Ho making a move as well, trying to get back on level terms. And here comes Andy Yan. Well, the pair of them have been going at it as we see some replays of that 88 move on 17. Henry up the inside and nicely done. Look how much he's pulled away already.
Yeah, he's got a long, lonely drive to catch up to the next one in front of him, which will be Philip Sousa, of course.
Champ Motorsport, of course, one of the big famous names of racing here in the Asian region, certainly in tin tops. Got a few single-seater races, of course, but best known for their tin top racing.
Yeah, it's actually funny that you could talk about that. The American in the field out there, William O'Brien, obviously lives in Hong Kong, doesn't he?
Yep.
He's actually here racing this weekend, but he's enjoying the TCR racing, but he's got another team with a professional driver in it, racing in one of the other classes here and enjoying himself. So he's out there having a good drive around in this class, but also with his other team here as well. So really enjoying his racing is the American from Hong Kong.
Well, there's a nervous-looking Nico Praino of the NISA racing team, and really enjoyed the first race. Probably not enjoying it as much the second as their third place, but to be honest, a win and a podium more than they expected this weekend.
Well, when you consider that they didn't have anybody to put in the car, not too bad.
Oh no, Andy Yan locks it up there, and that's a big mess up.
But that just goes to show you how much pressure Andy Yan is still under. Bruins is right there.
How much, yeah.
And look, he's starting to flash his lights now.
Yeah, he's trying to intimidate Yan even further.
Now that he's seen that mistake, he's saying, come on, get out of my way. Whether he can do anything about it or not, he's just piling the pressure on.
A young but experienced driver, so look, but he's locking up now, and I think that the nerves starting to show. And I think any driver, any athlete, when you make a mistake and you've been practicing, and this is what you do for a living, and this is how you go about it. When you make a mistake in a race, the adrenaline starts to flow, and you start thinking about it. It preys on your mind, and you see the guy in your your rearview mirror, he's putting you under pressure, and he's almost psychologically saying, come on, man, move over.
The first thing you do when you lock the wheel up like that is look in your rear vision mirror to see who's behind you, who's coming. And that's exactly when he flashed those lights to put that pressure on, especially through this part of the circuit. Andy Yen doesn't want to be looking right now because he's there. There's another little flash, and another one, and another one.
This is great. Great tactics. Seat versus VW. This is a battle we've seen played out around the world in TCR, and now we're doing it in Asia as well. Andy Yan of Hong Kong holding on for the Liqui Moly Ensler team, but how long for? 6 laps to go, and I think Bruins is on a mission.
Yeah, one more thing we do know about Bruins is he doesn't mind having a crack. Look at him under brakes there. That rear is locked, but he's got through nicely. He's really made up a lot of ground there.
This last section, he's so quick.
He is, isn't he?
Well, we'll watch again to see if Andy can stay ahead of him and then get some leeway down the main straight. Or will Bruins go for the inside move here at the end of this straight at turn 1? Through goes the leader, Shitrai. He does a 2:22.6. He's much quicker. He's almost a second quicker than this battle you're looking at right now. He's 4 seconds up the road, almost 5 seconds up the road from second place Andy Yan. And that's where Andy's strong. So clearly, I think the setup on Andy Yan's car is giving him an advantage on the straights. Whether he'll get an advantage now, though, with the number 7 car of William O'Brien ahead of them, I don't know.
Well,
Yan flashing his lights to say he's coming through.
It can
he
actually
has to be careful here.
It can help him because it's actually given him a bit of a tow, so it may have given him an extra boost. And you
That's
can
a
see
massive
that.
boost.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, great racing from Yan. Oh, great racing also from Bruins, because I thought for a minute he was going to get stuck behind O'Brien, and he doesn't. And they both go through, and the battle continues.
Good to see William O'Brien moved out of the way there, so that was a great sporting manoeuvre by him, but definitely gave a little bit of an extra hole shot for the number 3 car of Andy Yan.
Well, there you see confirmation. 4.9 seconds. Shitrai is ahead at the moment. Michael Ho just ahead of number 88, Henry Ho. So Ho, no laughing matter.
No, you're right there, Jonathan. He's circulating about a second a lap quicker as well, so if he can keep that pace up, he's going to move up another spot, but Henry Ho will be kicking himself at the end of this race because he really should be much further up the field, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm surprised at both Michael and Henry, to be honest, because if you look at the sort of form guide going in of drivers that have accomplished quite a lot in Asia, those 2 names have done a lot of racing.
Well, the thing is if you look at his lap time this time round, he's just under 220.
He's on the same pace as the leader, isn't he?
222.7, which is like, equal to Shitrai, so the leader of the race. So he's really blown this one.
Yeah, and I don't think they've got time to catch Souza in 5th either. So back to this battle though for second place. Andy Yan holding on, and I think 2 different setups of the car. This is where the Viper is very quick. Look, and as he comes out of this last corner, look, he's tucked up right behind him. He needs to get closer, and I think he might be close enough this time and get the tow.
He can't do it. This is where the V-dub just pulls away. Look at it. It's got a very strong motor.
He's flashing the lights again. Through goes the leader.
That's
4 to go.
Frustration. Look at him go now. He's really gone in deep. He makes a lot up under brakes. He's going to have a go. Look.
Blue flags waving.
Yeah, not much to be done there, Jonathan.
Kurt Treble will be pulling his hair out watching this, I'm sure, as Bruins puts the pressure on. But as you quite, pointed out again, look at the gap he's managed to just it's enough. It's enough to make it not a lungeable affair, so to speak, for the Viper car. 38, Michael Ho, and 88, Henry Ho. Still circulating fast. Their last lap's 2:24s, as we mentioned earlier. In fact, Henry Ho, 1 second quicker than Michael. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, as this battle for 6th place comes down to the last few laps, whether the number 88 can get there, and he's getting ever closer. He was second quicker last lap, and you can see he is gaining on him now. That intermittent flash light there, which is kind of annoying because it's just sort of not doing one or the other, but he's not flashing his lights. He's just,
I wonder if it's deliberate, though. It probably it could well be.
The winky eye.
Yeah.
I'm coming. Here he is. He doesn't need it anymore.
Look at that. Has he let him through? He's let him through.
Oh, he's let him through. Okay.
There you
Well,
go.
that's definitely a signal to go through. So through goes Henry.
I wonder if there's a problem.
Well, they're both of the Hondas, and maybe it's a case of, look, you're faster than me, and we're both in the Champ Motorsport team. And I think Michael's probably a little bit older, a little bit more experienced since his team. And he's saying to the youngster, go for it, son.
Yeah, okay. Michael, he's let him through anyway. Probably got tired of looking at that flashing headlight in his mirror.
Look how quickly Henry's pulled away. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, he was doing a 2:22, wasn't he? So.
Still no change in second place as Andy Yan doing a very good job so far. This is it's like the GT Asia race. Carlo Van Dam did a brilliant job of holding off a faster Bentley behind him.
Well, if you think back to race 1, it's exactly what Yan did as well. He did his own race. He managed to hold the lead for most of the race until he couldn't hold on anymore.
Well, interestingly enough, as these two are battling at the front, they're actually catching Try in the lead. The gap now 3.5 seconds. So if they keep pushing each other, there is the leader, and he's now going through the back markers. But there is a possibility with 3 to go. But if they keep pushing the way they're pushing, and they don't mess with each other too much, they may be able to drag up to Try. That's a big ask for both of them. But as they go past the 22, that's KCU. All these back markers can help and affect this race. Yan, though, made a mistake a few laps ago, has not made the mistake this time. But this time, it's much closer as Bruins now surely lining himself up for an overtake.
Yeah, and now they're also coming up on the number 22 car as well, Jonathan. So when they catch the 22 car at exactly the wrong moment, because this is as they head into sector, just into sector 2 now, it's very, very twisty around here. If 22 doesn't move out of the way,
yeah,
it's going to close right up.
7 and 8, but not enough over the crest.
Well, here we go. Look, he's been held up.
He's been definitely held up.
That is what Bruins needed. He's on the gas. He's got to run.
Ooh, we're in for a spectacular finish here. Andy Yan under massive pressures. They've got past the back marker. KCU lets them through, but the damage is done.
There he goes.
And here comes Bruins. He's really going to put the pressure on now.
Well, he had an opportunity there. I don't know if he made the most, but he hasn't given up yet. Look, he's starting to put the pressure on very hard now.
Great racing here in TCR Asia. Race 2 of 2016. And a cracking battle here for second place. Andy Yan and Roelof Bruins. And you can see how the gap has varied in the last few laps. But Bruins is on the case. And Yan doing a really good job of holding on.
One thing I've noticed over the weekend, that is definitely the style of Bruins. He's not one to just sit there and do nothing. If he senses a chance to put pressure on the car in front, he'll do everything he can. Make sure he's in every mirror, the left mirror, the right mirror. Flash those lights. He really does know how to put the pressure on. But the other thing we learned in race 1 is that Andy Yan doesn't really suffer from pressure. So it's
he's an experienced driver. Like I said, he's pretty unflappable out of the car, so it doesn't look as though he's going to worry too much at the moment. But the pressure's still firmly on with 2 to go. Try crosses the line at 2:24.1 from here. The gap gone up to 4 seconds now, so he's controlling this race at the front is Tim. But who is going to take second place? And I've got a feeling that Yan can do this. He can hang on.
Well, he's definitely strong through this first sector and gains a few tenths, which is just enough to hold it off until we come through turn 18, where Bruins is right on the rear wheel. But I just don't think that Bruins has got enough at the moment, unless he's been foxing.
Well, the irony is Douglas Coe is just further up the road, and he's going 2:33 a lap right now. So he's a lot slower, some 10 seconds slower than this battle we're watching. So the Viper Master, the teacher, so to speak, might just be able to go past the pupil before the race is over. Here's some replays of some of the overtakes that were taking place earlier.
That, of course, the 88 car. Henry Ho.
Finally getting past, and that was the signal from Michael to go past. A little smile from the Jazz Motorsport team as they watch on.
They got their fingers crossed at the moment, haven't they?
Just 2 laps to go. The last race of the Korea International Circuit weekend here. And it's been a cracking weekend. Some excellent domestic races as well as the international superstars of TCR Asia. Also on the bill, GT Asia. Been fantastic racing. Korea, fantastic circuit. First time I've been here, and I really enjoyed it because I didn't really know what to expect. I've seen the Formula One races, and you know, it's such a different thing, and you can't really gauge just how these sorts of cars will go on a track like this. But it's thrown up some great racing.
Yeah, it has. It's, throughout all the classes in the day. We've seen some fabulous racing, a lot of overtaking, some tricky conditions as well, especially at the start of the races. But that's what makes these races very exciting. I think that overall, everybody's going to be very, very happy with the event, and you know, looking forward to, although this meeting's not over, coming back.
And here we go then. Tin on the last lap, and he gets the board. 4 seconds he's ahead. He's got Ku in front of him. He'll try and get past him as quickly as he can. This is a comfortable lead and the perfect time for the Thai driver.
There's Douglas Wu just being lapped.
Yep, Ku taken over. And like I said, I don't know if there's time for the second and third place to come through, but I think there is actually on this last lap.
Oh, absolutely. This is very bad time for Andy.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if some tactics will come into play. I don't think Douglas is playing that game, though.
Oh, no.
I think he'll get out of the way. And yeah, sure enough, Andy Yan is flashing the light saying, hey, dude, we're coming through. And this is the battle for second and third.
You know what?
So he's putting himself right in the middle of That's the worst possible place he could be. And I think he's trying to get out of the way.
Oh, no! That's the worst thing he could do. Oh, no, he's really... Oh,
I really don't believe that. I think that's inexperience, I think.
Andy Yan's wide as well.
Can't believe that happened, to be honest.
Well, when you consider that Bruins is the driver coach.
Yeah, he's got some coaching to do.
Well, he does.
Listen, if I come up and I'm trying to win a race, get out my way. Don't help the other guy.
The last thing he wants to do to Douglas Ku, though, is knock him off the track. He might lose his job.
That's a good point. Oh, dear. Well, the man who got the coup was Andy Yan in that one, because he's just got played into there to take second place, and surely now there's really not a lot of chance for Roloff Bruins to make that time up in the rest of this 1 lap to go, or half a lap to go now. But let's go and turn our attention once again to Tin Sri Trai. I think you're going to be hearing that name a lot. I watched him race last year in the International Series for the first time, and he held his own there. I think he finished in the top 10 in one of the races against the international crew there, and held his own for sure. So no surprise to me to see him in dominant battle here. He was turned around in the first race when he was in a position to win. Disappointed, as you would imagine. But now it's Thailand's time as the king of Thai tin tops comes around the corner, and Tin takes the checkered flag. Sri Trai wins in Korea. Second place, Andy Yan holds on. Bruins was denied the real battle we wanted to see, but he does get the podium. That's a first and a third for Roloff Bruins here at Korea. Kevin Say takes 4th place. Philippe de Souza of Macau is in 5th. And delight for the PPT-sponsored Thailand team. Or Team Thailand, whichever way you look at it. But they're happy, as you can imagine.
Especially with what we've got coming up next.
Yeah, the fact that 3 weeks from now, these cars will be packed up tonight and on their way to Thailand. And Team Thailand can be well pleased with that. The headlines, I'm sure Sean Henselwood will be writing, will be all of this man and what he can do in Thailand itself when we head there.
Yeah, you've got to imagine he would have done a few laps around there as well.
Car 7 under investigation.
William O'Brien, there's
a pit lane infringement.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be speeding in pit lane.
He wasn't in pit lane.
Well, he was when he left the
Yeah,
pits.
I was going to say, yeah. It's an old infringement, but there you go. Doesn't matter. He was hardly a factor. So congratulations then to Tin Sri Trai. I think we're going to be hearing that name here in Asia many years to come. He's still, I think, 26 years of age, so plenty of time to become the next Natavud.
You know what?
The next Vutigor.
Yeah, you know what? The amount of talent that is coming out of Asia is just endless, isn't it?
It's really good, and it's funny because I've been around Asian motorsport for many a year now and watched it grow, and there was always talent. There was always great tin top racing in Asia, and there was always great talent. The Macau Grand Prix, 60 years plus. So we always saw it once a year, but it was always pocketed into national series. So this international series and a touring car championship, affordable, with teams coming from different countries and having national championships, Thailand National Championship, will bring more and more of these sorts of drivers to it. So Tin Tritrai then with the win for Honda, Volkswagen second, Andy Jan, and Roloff Bruins. So 3 manufacturers in the top 3. Seat take 3rd place. Kevin Say in the Volkswagen is in 4th place. Then 5th is Philip de Souza, Henry Ho, and Michael Ho, 6th and 7th, the 2 Hondas. And then the Seats, disappointingly for Seat, they got 1 in 3rd place, but Say, Ku, a little further down, and Bill O'Brien, who is still under investigation, 11th place. So, big weekend for Honda.
Well, they put a lot of effort into this, don't they? And as we alluded at the start of the year, this is, this car, you can buy it. If you want to put an order in with Honda, you can actually buy this car. Jazz produce these cars to the TCR rules, as do Volkswagen. And there's many other manufacturers coming into this championship and investigating and making cars as we speak. So it really is just the start of what is going to be an exciting future in my eyes, at least.
Yeah, and I do also think that this is a great sort of, not entry level, but a great chance for young drivers. If you've got a Carter, or you've got somebody who you think might be good enough for single-seaters and trying to get into Formula 3, which is a very expensive route. You know, we've seen it in the sports cars and GT cars of late, is that a lot of these 22-year-olds instead of going the single-seater route are now taking touring car route. And Sean Dan in pit lane, ready to take an interview with the winner. But yeah, so it's an opportunity for young drivers to shine, and Tin has done that. Tin Tritrai then of Thailand wins the race here in Korea, a deserved win. Let's head down to Sean and hear from our winner.
Tin, you must be very happy with that. Looks like it was very hard work too.
Yeah, very hard work because of the reverse gate. I have to start at the 8th. It's very hard to overtake in the first corner. Yeah.
Were you happy to get through cleanly into the lead? A good battle.
Yeah, I have a little bit battle, but clean. So I think it's a funny race in this weekend.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, in his words, a funny race, and it was. It was a good, fun race to be in, I'm sure, and it was certainly good fun to watch. So, TCR Asia is off in action, and it's good to see. And Andy Jan tried so hard to get on level terms, but he had to do most of his work in terms of defense driving. And it was a very good defensive drive by Andy Jan. Let's head down to Sean and hear again from our second place man.
Andy Jan, that's a busy day for you. Looks like it was very much like hard work.
Yeah, sure. Race 1 and race 2, we have a tough race, especially race 1. But after that, our team get more data from this circuit. So our engineer changed some setup of our race car. So at race 2, we have a better performance. So this race 2 is a reverse grip. I start from 6th place, P6, and after 1 lap, I just climb up to P3. And after that, P2 finished the race. I feel happy, and I need to say thank you to my team. Appreciate every engineer, mechanic, and my teammate.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So rather happy, and should be Andy Jan. Good weekend for him. A couple of solid podiums, and not without incident either. But a great job done. And we'll hear from the man who probably stole the show in many ways, because Roloff Bruins certainly made a name for himself. And he was certainly in the picture most of the time. Let's head down to Sean and hear from Roloff Bruins.
Go. Roloff, that was an interesting appearance for you in TCR. You got a late call up to drive the car, but it's been very successful.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, for the second race, it was kind of difficult. I mean, losing like so much top speed on the straight. I can't make the car any wider than it is, and that was basically it. And these guys, especially like in sector 2 and 3, they did a great job. So it was impossible to keep these guys behind me. Start was really good, but the rest, yeah, it was basically waiting until the finish flag.
Congratulations, great weekend for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So look at some of the highlights. Great start from Bruins. But as we heard, he just couldn't keep or make the car any wider. He wasn't fast in a straight line. Through went Tinsley Try, and eventually so too Andy Yan. And once Andy Yan got in front, Bruins couldn't get past him. So, yeah, it's a story that is familiar. If you don't have the fastest car, you've just got to defend as best you can. But a great day for Tin and the Champ Motorsport team working in unison. A checkered flag for Thailand and Team Thailand.
In second place, Andy.
And Rolf Bruins could be pleased with that.
Please, look at the smile on his
I know,
face.
yeah, I think all three actually could be happy with their work over the weekend.
And the roll-off.
And Jan's always smiling.
Absolutely, but I mean, roll-off didn't even know that he was in contention for a trophy when he arrived here.
And now your championship leader, Tin Sritrai of Thailand. And I think they're going to be hard pushed to knock him off, actually. So congratulations to our top three. I don't remember him playing for England.
It's going to be hard to beat at Buriram.
Yeah, of course. And now he's got his tail up for sure, because Thai fans will want nothing more than to see. I mean, if he doesn't win there, they'll be disappointed, especially coming in. Like I said, the headlines are going to be obvious. Because Thai is going good. The nation wants to know. They've got great soccer followers. Motorsport is also high up there. Well, my thanks to Steve Martin. I'm Jonathan Green. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage around the world, live streaming of this second round, or second race of the 2016 championship. It's been an interesting weekend here in Korea, and I think it's just going to get even more so in Thailand. Join us in a few weeks' time as TCR Asia takes on Thailand.